What's up YouTube, Nick Rostop. Today we're talking about a Brentuning ECU programmer. In this video you'll learn about my personal experience with this tuner, the brief walk through the installation process. I'll take you guys on a ride and share my thoughts and tell you whether or not I think you should buy this. And just to get this out of the way, this video is not sponsored, even though it should be. I purchased this tuner with my own money, and this is just simply my opinion and my experience with using this product. Big shout out to my friends Sean and DK over at Loyalty Cycle. If you guys are thinking about picking one of these up for your bike, they've got various models for KTM, BMW, and Ducati. I will link their contact information in the description of this video below, so please give them a call, get yourself one of these. So right off the bat, the installation process is incredibly simple. This kit comes with everything you need. It comes with the handheld programmer. It comes with a bike-specific cable, which in my case plugs into the service port in the Superduke. This end of the cable goes into the programmer. And there's also a USB cable that allows you to hook up the device to your computer. So the first step of the process is reading your bike's ECU, which I will take you through. So it reads your bike's ECU for the base file. Then after that, you copy that base file onto your computer and send it off to Bren Tuning with a list of the mods that were completed to the bike. Then Bren Tuning flashes it for the optimal performance. The file gets emailed back to you. You load it back on the tuner, plug it into the bike, reflash the ECU, take it out and enjoy. Incredibly straightforward. My only big concern with the entire process, and I hope that somebody from Bren Tuning is watching this video, they don't have any software for Mac. So as a result, I was forced to purchase a Windows computer. Last time I owned a Windows computer had to be, I don't know, late 90s. And needless to say, performance has not improved by much. So I was forced to purchase a Windows computer just so I could program this tuner and email the file back and forth. So that was a huge inconvenience. I'm probably the only one out of this entire process. All right guys, we're finally onto the final step of this process. Bren Tuning just sent me the new tuning file, which I loaded onto the handheld. So now it's time to finally plug this into the Superduke and see what it can do. I'm pretty stoked. All right guys, so the first part of this process is you have to turn the key on, plug it in. Light up. And continue with writing of the file. And it looks like they sent me two tunes, one for 91 octane and one for 100 octane. Since we're not going through track, we're gonna roll with a 91. And off we go. Make sure that your battery is fully charged for this process because it will take a few minutes for this to complete. We are almost done writing the file. Okay, now guys, if you're tuning a Superduke and you pay attention to your instrument cluster throughout this process, it will say all kinds of crazy things. It'll light up like a Christmas tree, and that is perfectly fine. My tune is now complete. So I can turn the key off and disconnect the tuner. All right guys, let's try to fire it up for the first time since tuning. Fortunately, there's traffic where you don't normally see traffic, but you guys get the idea. With just a small flick of the wrist, this thing just goes. So when recording this video, I thought about a number of things, including some obvious legal concerns, like how do I show you guys what this tune is capable of without self-incriminating too much. So I was traveling through Mesquite, Nevada recently and found a small motorcycle shop that does $25 dyno runs. So you guys tell me if you think I should take this thing out to a dyno, flash it back to factory tune, do a baseline, and then give you the numbers for both the baseline, reflash it back to Bren Tuning tune, and see what we come up with, see what difference we come up with. That way the review would be a lot less subjective and a lot more accurate than just giving you the experiences of my butt dyno. So drop me a comment below if you guys think I should produce that clip. Let me know how you feel about that. But overall, just based on solely how I feel without knowing the numbers, I feel like the bike is a lot more responsive. Throttle input, I mean, it just goes. Doesn't matter what gear I'm in. That was a fourth gear pull just barely. Get twisted, there is zero hesitation, and for a lot of Superduke owners, it's kind of hard to tell the difference when you start with a great bike and you go from great to excellent. I mean, a lot of people already consider it to be a scary bike, but with a stock tune and the few mods I had done to it, it was definitely not this level of a beast. Let me tell you, having a linear, smooth response that's achieved through ECU tuning when your bike performs exactly the way it should, when it gives the engine appropriate amount of fuel, makes a day and night difference in performance of this engine. And these huge V-twins are extremely capable, but when you improve engine management to the mods that you perform to this bike, it just takes it to a whole nother level. I would definitely suggest anybody that owns a Superduke and plans on doing the necessary mods like exhaust intake, delete of the emissions, whatever else you might do, it is definitely a better way to fuel management than, say, Power Commander or any other piggyback downhill, because you customize the map on the ECU level and you program it into the factory brain rather than just having a piggyback module that kind of course corrects what the ECU is doing. Listen to this. For those of you that are wondering if these tiny mirrors are actually working, I would say no, definitely not. They're all for looks. I'm heading over to a hardware store after this to see if I can find some bolts to adopt them to work with the Superduke's bar ends. But yeah, I was looking on the internet wondering the same thing. I saw the mirrors that are mounted right by the handlebar, right by your controls, and thinking, you know, you might be able to see what's going on behind you through the armpit hole. In reality, you see a lot of your side, but not a whole lot of the view that's directly behind the bike. Definitely one of the unnecessary, dangerous mods. When you're riding, it's good to see 360 degrees because you can just safely assume no matter how stupidly loud your bike is, people don't pay attention, they don't see you. And somebody sneaking out behind you, or even worse, crashing into your buddy while changing lanes. You know, some people don't know how to ride in a pack either, but that's a whole other topic. But
you know, often enough, your buddy will be right next to you, right on your heels, right on your rear tire, and if your mirrors are not set up correctly, you're not going to see him. And take both of you out, you're going to have a really bad time.
So would I recommend one of these? Based on my experience, I would say that it makes a humongous difference in throttle response and how your bike responds overall, regardless of how extensive the mods are. You can list off the mods to the tuner when you're emailing the stock file to the guys over at Bren Tuning. You could tell them what exhaust intake, what other mods you have done to your bike. They will take it all into consideration and they will adjust your map accordingly. My bike is relatively stock. It has aftermarket exhaust, stock headers, and even from the factory, the bike does not seem like it's incredibly smooth. You know, my comparison of the Superduke is to inline 4-liter engines, and of course it's apples to oranges, but inline 4-liter engines are usually a lot smoother. They're not as jumpy, not as jerky, and with the factory map, the Superduke felt a little jerky at low RPMs. Now, having loaded the Bren Tuning map, I feel like the bike is overall a lot smoother, and it still has that incredible punch. I did not notice it before, but now in 4th gear, just rolling onto the throttle gradually, the front end gets really light, and if you give it a solid punch in 4th gear, it definitely stands right up. So based on my experience, I would definitely recommend it. With one side note: for whatever reason, Bren Tuning does not have a desktop application for Mac, so I was forced to purchase a Windows computer in order to make this possible. So you do need a desktop computer to read your ECU and email the file over to Bren Tuning. So maybe in a future release, if they had an option to either email the file through a mobile device, or if they had perhaps a Mac application, that would be amazing. But that would be the only thing I would change. Guys, if you found this video useful, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any additional questions, or if you have different experiences with this product, please drop me a comment below. I would like to know. And if you're considering purchasing a Bren Tuning handheld unit, please support my friends over at Loyalty Cycle. Their contact information is in the description below this video. Hit the link, get yourself one of these, and enjoy your bike to the fullest.